Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Beyond Barriers. I wanted to do something different today. The last episode that I recorded, when I recorded the introduction, it seemed really robotic and just like I was reading from a script, and I don't want none of these episodes to sound like that. I want them to all be real. So I started this podcast after some health complications 5 years ago, which caused me to lose my career as a scaffolder, lose my eyesight, and have a pacemaker. I've retrained since then and now started my own business, Beyond Barriers Training. But along the way, I've met some really cool and inspiring people, and like them, I want this podcast to resemble what they're about, resilience. So today's guest is a secondary school teacher, a mother, a wife. Her name's Kelly Holmes, but not the real famous one. Here we go. So, hello Kelly. Tell us a bit about yourself, how you've come to be where you are now, a mother, a wife, a secondary school teacher, from your humble beginnings to the trials and tribulations of your life. At what point did you start studying to be a teacher, and what happened before that?
Well, it's not been easy. From nursery, primary school, secondary school, I was bullied. So it's a bit, what's the right word to say? It's funny how I now end up working in a school when all my history of school has been so traumatic in a way. I was bullied every single year, all the way from nursery up until I left school. So that was the start of my academic journey. So to then start teaching in a school, I suppose it's gone full 360. But I'm head of year 7 as well, working in, as well as a teacher working in a secondary school. And what I won't stand for with my year 7s in particular is bullying. There's one thing I will not stand for.
No way. That's really strange how you've obviously had such a negative experience in school life and then managed to switch it round and be a teacher.
I know.
And be a head of year 7. So not just a teacher.
Mad.
But, well, you say just a teacher. A teacher is never just a teacher.
No.
There's always
everything
more to
else.
it. Yeah. Like, I really hate the reference that people say, those who can't teach, because I know so many teachers now who can do so much more and are about so much more. So I really think that old phrase is old now, like everything else.
Yeah, because you're not just a teacher when you're working in that role. You're everything else that goes along with it. You're a mom to them at times. You're a counsellor to them at times. You're a teacher to them at times. You're all these different roles, not just standing at the front of a classroom and teaching a lesson.
So when you're doing your teacher degree, did you do was it a QTS or?
Yeah, so I struggled at first to get into teaching because when I applied for the teaching sort of degree, you had to pass level 2 maths and English tests, similar kind of place where you go to have your theory tests. You have to sit there and pass an English and maths test,
like a key skills type of thing.
Yeah, but you only get 3 attempts at doing it, and then you can't do it for another 2 years. And I passed the English first time, but I failed the maths twice, and I didn't want to do it the third time because
Just
I didn't want to then be blocked out for 2 years. And then it wasn't until I was speaking to my best friend that did it a different route, and she did it through post-compulsory education. So I applied that route and found that I didn't need the maths and English tests. So I applied that way, got accepted, and then started training in a college, but then I applied for a job at a school. I didn't think I would get it, but I just thought, what's the worst that can happen?
You're only going to get a no.
I got offered an interview and then did end up getting the job. Did a QTLS, which is recognised the same as QTS, alongside teaching. But I never got paid any less than a teacher. I was meant to get paid on an instructor's wage, but they honoured it and paid me as a fully qualified teacher from the get-go.
Did you feel like you had anxiety going into university, the same as from being a student at school and stuff? Did you feel like that there was going to be the same type of environment in university as in school and stuff, or did you just go for it?
At university, no, I just kind of went for it.
Yeah.
But when I got the job into a school, then the anxiety started creeping in, because obviously I was bullied for my hair colour. I'm a natural ginge. I sway between hair colours. I go from brown, I go from my natural colour, I go from all different colours. But I found if going back into a school, if I had my natural hair colour, those anxieties then came in. So I was worried about what the kids would say. The school's in Birmingham. I've got a completely different accent to the Birmingham accent. So that was a challenge in itself as well, because they hear me and see me differently, even though I'm only like 20 minutes away.
Yeah, they know that we're yam yams.
Yeah.
Even though you go anywhere on holiday, they say, "Oh, you're from Birmingham."
Literally, I know.
Yeah. So you say like ginger is a negative thing, even like, and about bullying to do with that. It's completely changed now.
Yeah.
The same with you getting bullied and going 360 and then working into a school. Now, mate, Ed Sheeran has put gingers on the map. You guys are cool now. And South Park kind of did it, saying that you don't have no souls, but oh no, gingers do have souls.
Yeah, I wish I could tell myself that. I genuinely do wish I could tell myself that, because my daughter's got the same hair colour as me and hers is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But on myself, because of all the trauma that I went through as a child, I could just never go back to that. I've been close going back to that hair colour in the past, but it's never stayed because I've just felt so self-conscious about it. So always change my hair colour. And it's silly to think like that, but when you've been bullied for however many years it was, from nursery to year 11.
Strips your identity.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Knocks your confidence.
That's sad to hear, but also cool that you feel like embracing it for your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, she can be a ginger freely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I like ginger. I think it's a really cool colour.
It is. It's such a look. People say to me now, like, people dye their hair that colour, whereas I've got it naturally. But I can never be thankful for it because of my past. Yeah,
my brother Oliver, his fiancée Demi, she has to keep up with dyeing her hair that colour orange, and it looks really cool.
It does look nice. Yeah.
So many people now with ginger hair.
Yeah.
I like it. It's cool. Cool hair colour. You should embrace it.
I know. Sitting here now, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
but that's the negative side of the bullying, I guess.
So obviously, saying bullying, that must have affected your mental health through life.
Yeah, I think at the time I didn't think that it did, but obviously when you're growing up and being bullied, especially for a physical appearance, it obviously knocks your confidence. So I never really had much confidence. I was a shy child. I wouldn't really put myself out there. I'm still now really socially awkward. And I don't like other people say, my husband says to me all the time, like, you are confident, but I don't feel like I am. It's like a massive front that I put on if I do come across confident, because I'm really not. I'm usually like maybe calm upon the surface, but paddling underneath like a duck.
Yeah, there's this really cool analogy of this photo that I saw before. It's like a tiny bit of an iceberg above the surface.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And there's so much of the iceberg below the water that people can't see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. Like, I've suffered with anxiety. Well, I say suffered with, lived with anxiety since being a youngster like yourself. I was bullied too. I got stabbed in the back with a pencil when I was in year 5, I think, year 4, year 5. So, yeah, I get it. But then secondary school, like, I don't know if it was like you, I had to invent a persona to be liked. It's like there's categories in school, Anna, that people get on with. You're either really good at sport, you're either really good looking, you're into, I don't know, you've just got something cool. There's something about you that other people are like, oh, whoa, he's a cool guy. He plays guitar, or he's a drummer, you know what I mean? And I didn't have anything, so I left school with nothing because I tried my hardest to be the funny guy. Which was fine at school. I thought people liked me, but they didn't actually like me for me. They liked this fake version of me that I didn't realise I didn't have to be until I left school and started scaffolding and met some real cool people. And I met one guy called Tony Redfern, really cool guy. And he said this thing to me one time. He says, if they take the piss out of you, it means they like you, mate. Talking about like on site and stuff. And he says if they don't talk to you, don't try and talk to them because you are on the same wavelength. And I've stuck with that rule since then, and it ain't fared me too bad. So shout out to Tiny Redfern. Yeah, but yeah. So you say that it affected you mentally, but again, you still like what this podcast is about, resilience. You've shown true resilience because you haven't let it stop you in life, and you're still inspiring to your daughter. Like I've known you now, probably just over 2 years, maybe. I wouldn't never have a negative thing to say about you. You're one of the most positive people that I've ever met in my life. Yeah, honestly, Kelly, you're really inspiring. You and Liam, like you're really cool people. And before I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if me and Kelly are going to be friends because she's Keely's ex-husband's niece, so I don't know if it's going to work. But it wasn't like that at all, and I feel like we just got on from the start.
Yeah, we did.
So,
we did.
Yeah, it's really cool to hear your story and the trials and tribulations that you've gone through. Because myself, I don't know if you can relate to this, but not even after I lost my eyesight, even before then, in scaffolding, because of anxiety and because of like childhood stuff and things like that, I used alcohol as a tool to deal with the everyday goings on of life till it came to a point where drinking wasn't fun anymore. I wasn't going out and having fun with my friends on a Friday night. It became more of a habit, and I would just drink just to drink. It would have no meaning, and you don't actually feel anymore. Like just you don't feel happy about it. You don't feel sad about it. You're just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was similar for me. I think when I was 16, I lost my nan, and she was like a second mum to me. So that sort of hit hard, and I couldn't grieve properly at the time because I felt like I needed to be strong for my mum and strong for my granddad. I'd never ever seen my granddad cry, and it'd gone from never seeing him cry to seeing him cry like practically every minute of every day. So seeing all that, and obviously my mum was like cracked my mum into two. So obviously to witness all that, I felt like I needed to be the strong one. So I didn't grieve back then. And then when I did turn sort of 17, 18, then the drink then started. And at first it was a bit of a novelty because I wasn't allowed uptown with my mates. I used to always sneak there, much to my dad's despair. I used to say that I was staying and sleeping over someone's house, which I did do, but obviously I was going up to town until the early hours. And it was fun to start with. Then it became all the anxiety then kicks in. The late grieving then kicks in. So then I'm not drinking anymore just to have fun, like you say. I'm then just drinking just to get blackout drunk.
Yeah, that's the thing, ain't it? You go past having fun being drunk to hitting the deck.
Yeah.
And although everyone else who you're with, your friends and stuff, like, whoa, Kelly's so cool. Like, she was the first one having the shots. I don't know if you speak to any of them friends now, but some of them friends, they are the real ones. They are there at your lowest.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have lost a fair few friends along the way.
Yeah.
Especially during those years where I was drinking and just getting blackout drunk. And then sort of the relationships as well. I got myself in quite a few toxic relationships where, they weren't great. They were just the first kind of long-term relationship that I was in when I was 17, turning 18, was quite an emotionally abusive relationship. I couldn't wear certain things. I couldn't say certain things. My dad was quite a protective dad. He didn't like me having boyfriends, obviously. Like being a mom now, like who would want to see your daughter? You do have those worries and anxieties around it. I do now, and she's 3. Like she ain't coming out with a boyfriend anytime soon. But so I understand it now, my mom. But at the time, I didn't understand it. And my dad was like, I'll never accept him and all of this. So I was like, kind of feel like I was fighting my dad, as well as obviously being in the like emotionally abusive relationship, because I couldn't see it at the time. It wasn't until the relationship ended. Yeah. And obviously then I reflected back on, I can do this and I can say this and I can wear these clothes. It was such a ridiculous relationship. Like the mental abuse that was there. I couldn't say gift, I had to say present. It's like little minor things like that, but it changed me as a person.
Level of control.
Yeah, it was, honestly, when I look back, I just think, why? But so many people find themselves in those kind of relationships because you don't see it at the time, or even if you do see it at the time, you just think, oh, they'll change, or you know what I mean, and
We love each
they'll
other.
never do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all, yeah. But deep down, it's not love at the time. Well, it might be at the time, but
well,
it's not in
it is
deep
to
down,
you.
it's not.
Yeah. There's this is the thing, isn't it, with a lot of relationships. Some people you want someone to put in the same amount of effort as you do. You want it to be 50%, 50%.
Yeah.
If you dig in the hole, you want them to be jumping on the shovel straight after you. Like, you got to put in the same amount of effort each. Like, and it sounds like in that relationship, it's probably 70% you, 30% him.
I used to catch, before I started driving, I used to catch 2 buses to go and see him because he lived that much of a distance.
Really?
2 buses.
And he didn't come to you?
He did occasionally, but I felt like it was me going to him more than anything.
Yeah.
Then because I then started driving and passed my driving test before he did, I was then driving to him all the time.
Oh, okay.
And
did
there
he
was a lot.
exploit the fact that you was driving?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'll try and look on these things now as just experience on how not to do things again. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So even though it was such a negative time, you can still take positive thought from it. Like,
yeah,
not all of it was bad. The same thing with losing my eyesight. I'm really glad it's happened to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have met Keely, met yourself.
Yeah, you have to look at it like that, because if you don't look at it like that, obviously you get yourself down in a deep hole. And I've been there in the past, and it's not a nice place to get back from, and it takes a lot to get back from that place. So you just have to keep going. And I know there's probably people listening that think like I am in the depths of like depression or whatever, but you've just got to find something within whatever's happened, got to find something positive to keep going. Because if you don't, then what's the alternative? Something that I have learned is that life's hard and it will chuck curveballs in, and some people get dealt those curveballs a lot more than other people will. But the point is dwelling on it for too long. You can dwell on it, of course you can dwell on it, that's natural to dwell on it, but not for too long. Don't sit in those feelings too long, because if you do, then obviously you get yourself into a horrible headspace and it's difficult to get back from it.
Yeah, you've got to talk, man.
Yeah, I'm on medication. I'm going through CBT at the moment, which so it sounds a bit rich coming from me at the same time, but at the same time I am trying to help myself.
Yeah, but that's it.
Because I've identified the fact that I am struggling.
Yeah.
And if there's tools out there to help, why am I not using those tools?
Yeah.
It's not going to be forever. I don't plan on being on medication forever, but it's something that I need to help now, and that's fine.
And when I told you before that I spent a week in a mental health hospital after when I lost my eyesight, I got really depressed. I didn't know what to do, didn't know where to turn. But like yourself, looking for help. When I was in there, one of the HCAs, I can't remember her name, really, really good person, she said to me, I actually felt guilty for feeling the way that I felt.
Yeah.
She says, if you broke your leg, you would have a cast, wouldn't you? So this is a cast for your mind. You just got to give it time to heal. The same with anything. Someone
said that to me in the past before.
Yeah.
Similar,
And your bucket's full. There's only so much your bucket can hold.
Yeah.
And when your bucket starts overflowing, that's when you need some help.
Yeah.
It's cool though that you're opening up about it, because you're going to give other people going through the same situation for them to know that they're not on their own, and talk. There's places to reach out to. There's so much local support as well. Like talking therapies might not sound like it's beneficial for everyone, but it's a short-term fix. Ain't it the same with medication, like you're saying yourself? But you gotta try and fight.
Yeah, you have. You need to find some sort of positive in that.
So what's the next journey in Kelly's story? Now you're got married, had 2 children. Oh, we haven't spoke about your children. That's been a tricky one. Yeah, I've always wanted to be a mum. I've always had that sort of... You are a good one.
Mother instincts, thank you. But I've always had that mother instincts. I've always loved looking after children, babies, etc. So when we got married, we started trying straight away for a baby, and fell pregnant like straight away.
Oh wow.
I think, I can go as far to say it was near sort of the wedding day that we conceived, which is crazy, really.
That sounds like near enough perfect.
Yeah. But we fell pregnant straight away. Pregnancy was textbook. Everything was fine. Had anxiety with movement sort of towards the end, but that was because my placenta was at the front, so I didn't really feel as much movements as I thought I probably would. I've never experienced it before. And everyone says, all the midwives, etc., say, if you're worried about movements, come in, because it's better to be checked and everything to be fine than to leave it and everything not to be fine. So I went in a few times, to the point where I think I went in 3 times towards the end of my pregnancy, and that's then protocol to be induced, basically. So I got to 40 weeks and was induced. Induction was fine. I haven't got any sort of horror stories around induction in that respect. The induction worked pretty much straight away. I think I had the gel in at 4, and by 9 o'clock we was going over to delivery. And then I got to 8 centimetres. What I didn't like at the time was the fact that I wasn't able to keep moving. I didn't have the midwife, because now they say keep moving to help the baby like progress within labour. But my midwife was just allowing me to just sit on the bed. So that, on reflection, wasn't great. So I thought, right, if I do get lucky enough to be pregnant again, then that'll be different. But I got to 8 centimetres, was struggling, had codeine, had pethidine. That completely knocked me about.
Really?
It was sending me to sleep, and I was waking up then with severe contractions, and obviously being induced, apparently the contractions are a lot stronger.
Yeah, they
obviously
say
I had
time
nothing
to sleep,
compare
man.
it to.
You got work to do, eh?
Yeah. So then got to 8 centimetres, and the midwife said maybe think about having something more stronger. Well, the next strongest thing was an epidural. So I kind of took her advice and had the epidural. But then that sort of slowed everything down then. Everything went from everything to nothing, because I wasn't feeling anything. And then she wasn't coming, like she was struggling I was struggling to dilate, to the point where they checked me towards the end, and they said, if you've still got a little bit of cervix either side, then we'll have to rush you down for a C-section. But luckily, cervix had moved, fully dilated. She was born. Everything was great. She didn't come out crying. So straight away, my husband was crying his eyes out, because obviously it's an emotional time. But I wasn't. I was too focused on the fact that she'd come out. She wasn't crying. I was expecting her to come out, stop crying. We had a team of however many people in the room, because they'd pressed the emergency button. I think she might have got stuck. I'm not really sure what happened at that point. So we had the neonatal doctor in the room. She'd said, it's been a minute, and that line, it's been a minute, will stick with me forever, because they straight away cut the cord and off she went. But luckily they checked her sats, everything, oxygen was 100%, everything was fine. She just didn't cry. So anybody that's listening, if you are pregnant and you're worried about anything like that, don't panic at the time, is my message. Because I panicked, but she was absolutely fine. And even when she had the vitamin K injection, she still didn't cry. She only cried, I think it was about an hour afterwards, when she was taken away from me. That was it.
No way. Yeah, she definitely doesn't like having things taken off her.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. Like any other 3-year-old, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, then, so we had a lovely couple of years with her, decided that we wanted to try again. Naively thought we'd fall pregnant straight away, because we'd fell pregnant straight away with Lily. But that wasn't the case. I think I had like a little bit of a time. Well, I think we started trying October, November, December came around, and I had a positive test, but within like a day it turned negative. So I'm not sure whether that was a fake positive, whether that was chemical pregnancy. I don't know. It was tough, like, to even have those thoughts, because I had a positive, the next day it was negative. So I'm not really sure what happened then. January we tried, didn't work. February didn't try, because my husband ended up having really bad sciatica, so he was bedbound. So I was having to look after a 1-year-old, running the house, cooking the dinner, going to work, working a full-time job, dropping her at the childminders, practically doing everything, whilst he was bedbound, and obviously being worried about him.
Yeah.
He accidentally overdosed on his pain medication, took too many, because obviously he was trying to regulate his pain, couldn't.
Oh, wow.
Took too many pain medication, ended up being completely out of it to the point where I had to ring an ambulance. The ambulance crew said the same. He was just not with it. So he got rushed into hospital, which, like now looking back, it was good because they rushed him through to have an MRI.
Yeah.
Eventually, like obviously they saw that he had a slip disc in the bottom of his back, and saw they got some fluid on his spine, etc. But all of that during that period of time required resilience, because I didn't have a choice. I had to just keep going. I couldn't just sit and sort of cry about it. Don't get me wrong, I did go to work and have a few tears when I dropped my daughter off and whatnot, but you just have to keep going because you've got no choice.
You girls have made a different stuff, mate.
Throughout a lot of what I've experienced, you just have to keep going.
Yeah.
There's no stopping it. So February, obviously, we didn't try going back to the trying for a baby situation. March, we got our positive test, digital positive. It's come up saying pregnant. And then I'm the type of person that has to sort of test every single day. So I get so anxious.
Yeah.
Not that I had experienced anything at the time. So I was testing every day and I thought, these lines aren't getting darker. It got to Wednesday and it looked like it was lighter than the Monday. And I thought, that's not good. Maybe it's just the test. I waited until the Thursday, tested on a digital, and that's when it came up not pregnant. So obviously I rang the early pregnancy unit and they said, obviously, it does sound like you've miscarried, especially having such a strong positive and a positive on a digital test as well. Like I think I had like 5 or 6 positive tests on the sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday it come up not pregnant, and then the Friday was when I started losing it. So that was horrible, beyond horrible. For anyone out there that's ever witnessed it or gone through that, it's pain.
Yeah, I'm sure people will be able to relate to that. Thank you for sharing that.
You imagine, like, it's for somebody that's never gone through it, you think to yourself, well, or I don't know, some thoughts can go through people's head. Well, it's not even, I did have a comment given to me, it's not even a baby yet, was the comment that got made to me. Yeah. That's not the point. No. The point when the moment you see that test saying pregnant on the pregnancy test, you start imagining that life. Of course, yeah. And then to have it taken away from you, especially when you're trying for a baby, it's just soul crushing. Yeah. So yeah, dealt with all that. Carried on tracking my ovulation just to see, really, just to keep track of everything, because obviously we didn't want to not carry on trying. We were desperate for baby number 2.
Resilience, man.
Yeah. So I tracked my ovulation, and strangely I ovulated that after my miscarriage. So we tried, and then fell pregnant. But obviously that pregnancy test, that positive pregnancy test, the month later, didn't come with the excitement. It came with all the anxiety attached to it. I wasn't excited. I just went, oh, okay, it's pregnant. It says pregnant. We'll just have to see how it goes.
No tears this time of excitement?
No, nothing. I was bouncing off the walls the previous month. But this month it was just like, we'll just have to just see.
A bit stale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got to 6 weeks pregnant, I think it was, and I was experiencing quite bad cramps. So I rang early pregnancy unit because obviously I'd previously had a miscarriage. They asked me to come in, scanned me, and they couldn't see, like you could tell by the room, like it wasn't great news. Whatever they were scanning and finding, it wasn't great. And they told me they could only see the gestational sac, but they wanted me to come back the next week. But you could tell there was something else that they weren't telling me, that they were worried about, because they were scanning for ages. And I thought, no way you're scanning me if you can only see a gestational sac. Like, what else are you trying to scan for? So then I had to wait a week. Obviously at 6 week scans with my first baby, we saw a heartbeat. So to then get a scan at 6 weeks and only see a gestational sac, I know dates could be wrong, etc. But to only get that, it was all the anxiety about losing it again. I was thinking maybe I'm going to start bleeding again, losing it again. But that didn't happen. Went for the scan at 7 weeks, and luckily they saw the heartbeat then. So obviously it was growing lovely. But then they scanned me and told me that I'd got a cyst on my ovary, and what they were worried about at that point was that it was a twin pregnancy, but the one pregnancy was ectopic, but they couldn't tell that from the first scan. So that was relief that obviously we could see the heartbeat and it wasn't an ectopic pregnancy. And then said, if you notice any spotting or anything like that, call us back, you can start on progesterone. So a couple of weeks went by, had a bit of spotting, rang them, started on progesterone.
What's progesterone?
So that's meant to support the pregnancy. So if you've been through a loss, or you're more sort of suspect, what's the right word?
Susceptible.
That's the one.
Yeah.
For miscarriages or whatever, then you start on progesterone to help progress the pregnancy and keep it sort of there, I guess.
And
I don't know what the right
how do you take progesterone?
It's internal.
Oh, okay.
So it has to sort of be, it's a suppository.
Yeah.
In your bits.
Yeah.
Morning and night. So that was obviously not nice.
2 a day?
Yeah.
Every day?
Every day up until I was 16 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when I got given the prescription, I also got given a leaflet saying threatened miscarriage. So obviously when you see a leaflet that says threatened miscarriage, that then brings all the triggers back from the miscarriage.
Yeah, there could have been a bit of a more subtle way that they could have done that.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't nice.
Doesn't seem like they really thought that one through, does it?
No, not when you've experienced it. And obviously there's so many women out there that have experienced multiple miscarriages. To then see that word again, it brings back all those feelings.
These progesterones you would have to have 2 a day every day for 16 weeks.
Yeah, well, it wasn't for 16, it was up until 16 weeks. Up until 16 weeks,
yeah, sorry.
So it was from when I was about 10 weeks, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, up until 16 weeks. But yeah, we had our 12-week, 20-week scan. Everything was great. But then November, like everything started hitting the fan from November onwards. My granddad got rushed into a hospice care. We knew he was poorly, sort of with a lung disease, but we didn't realise how poorly he was.
The same granddad who you said was grieving for your nan who passed away?
Same one. So then to see him so weak, like I'd been and visited him, and obviously lung disease, it's not a rapid thing, it's slow.
Yeah.
So obviously going into hospice care, we'd had a fall, I think it was on the Saturday, and I think on the Monday, his partner rang the hospice care, and I thought at the time it was just to get like a little bit of respite, because she's got her own health conditions too. She was on her own, like struggling to help get him sort of up, had to ring an ambulance to help get him up. So we thought it was like a bit of respite, but when I went to visit him in the hospice care, like you could tell. So then I'm a novice Googler, so I'll Google what I'm seeing and what I'm witnessing. Everything's coming back going like, it's near the end. So I'm kind of preparing myself for that, but thinking at the same time, like, it's not going to be anytime soon. Like, yeah,
you must have been close, especially after when they said your nan passed away. It was basically just your granddad left then. Yeah. Until he got a new missus.
Yeah. He met somebody else. So it's companionship, isn't it? Like, you have to do what you have to do. It's fine. It's not a problem. But yeah, so I visited him in the hospice care twice. Each time I saw that he was deteriorating. Spoke to his partner every day, asking how he was. She was saying that he was getting restless. I thought that's another sign. Rang in sick on the Wednesday for the Thursday, because we were going to go and plan to see him on the Thursday. Knowing really that we were going to say bye to him, because that might have been the last time we get to see him, because obviously we could see he was deteriorating. On the early hours of Thursday morning, he'd passed away. So I got that phone call at 8 o'clock in the morning, when we was meant to be due to see him like at 10 o'clock that morning, that he'd passed away. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The only solace, I suppose, well, you can't take any solace from it really, because he was your granddad, but the fact that he didn't give up on love,
No, he didn't.
No.
That's right.
So he showed his own story of resilience
Yeah.
after experiencing what he'd experienced and being so heartbroken. He probably thought that this was the end for him, but yeah, he found, like you said, companionship with someone else.
Bless him. But yeah, as soon as my granddad passed away, that everything started hitting the fan then. Sunday, he passed away on the Thursday. I felt unwell on the Saturday. I went to the hospital, tested that my waters had started leaking. So I was in hospital.
6 weeks early.
Yeah. So I was in hospital, well, I think it was more than that. I was 28 weeks.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, 28 weeks I was. My waters had started leaking. So I had to stay in hospital. And then I had an infection. But they decided that they wanted to deliver. They wanted to urge on the side of caution, and said that they'd rather deliver a healthy baby early than wait and deliver a poorly baby.
Yeah.
So off I went to delivery thinking, my baby's like 29, I'm at 29 weeks. Like, this is crazy.
I've still got 11 weeks to go.
Yeah. Like, I've got to deliver my baby early. Got put on a magnesium drip to help with the development of baby's brain, which is not for the weak. If anyone listening has gone through and had a magnesium drip, holy moly, it feels like your insides are burning.
Really?
It's not nice. It is not pleasant. Yeah, that's horrendous. And then whilst I was on this magnesium drip and my insides feel like they were burning, they then told me, we've got no neonatal beds. We're going to have to transfer you out. We would rather transfer you pregnant than deliver your baby and then transfer you both separately.
Where was you being transferred from to?
New Cross. So I was at New Cross Hospital. Yeah. So they said, we need to transfer you to the nearest hospital. I'm thinking, great.
Birmingham.
Walsall Manor or Birmingham, whatever.
Not so bad.
Thinking Walsall Manor, maybe.
Yeah.
It's got its horror stories, but I'm thinking at the end of the day, they're going to deliver my baby.
Yeah, and it's not too far away. Yeah.
And it's not too far away. Did I get transferred to Walsall Manor? No. I got transferred to Worcester Hospital.
Oh my God.
I live in Cannock.
Over an hour away?
Over an hour. I got transferred to Worcester Hospital. So my daughter, bless her, had got like minimal clothes. She was with my mum. She was staying with my mum. My mum was taking us to the childminder. She got minimal clothes. I had to rely on my mum to go to my house to get her some more clothes and whatever she needed from mine. My husband had to come with me because we thought obviously we was going to deliver my baby. Like, blue lighted to Worcester Hospital, having never been in the back of an ambulance before, never had a stay in hospital before, apart from obviously when I had my daughter. But obviously this was completely different circumstances because this wasn't a joyous event. Got transferred there, got put in a side room, got set up to the monitors to make sure baby was okay. That was it. I got there at 10 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the morning, they came in and said, we're deciding we're not going to deliver your baby. At the time, like, I am so confused and so tired and so wiped out by everything that's just happened that I haven't got any fight in me at this point. So I'm like, okay. They came back in at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, I had a team of 10 doctors. I don't know how they work at Worcester Hospital, but there was like a team of like everybody seemed to flood the room.
And you was on your own?
Me and my husband. And they're like, how are you feeling? I'm like, how do you think I'm feeling? I got told yesterday, and I thought this is the point where I need to advocate for myself. I said, I got told yesterday from my own hospital, I've got to deliver my baby, I've got an infection. They want to urge on the side of caution. They will prefer to deliver a baby healthy than wait and deliver a poorly baby. Why are you then stopping? I'll get transferred here over an hour away from home. Why are you stopping my baby being delivered? I completely get he's safer in my belly, but like, why are you stopping it when my own hospital have said this? I've been transferred to a hospital that I know nothing about, no disrespect, but I know nothing about you. You're changing your mind. Like, what? So they then decide that they're going to screen me for absolutely every sort of infection going, sepsis screen, bloods again, all of this. Luckily, everything come back, sepsis screen come back clear, and my white blood cells started to drop. So they found like my infection was going away.
Okay.
So baby was safer.
Yeah.
So that's why they were starting to then decide not to deliver. Had to spend another night in Worcester because they thought I was going into natural labour because I was having contractions. But that never ended up going to anywhere. So just ended up going back to New Cross and having to go to hospital twice a week to be monitored to make sure baby was okay. Blood's being tested twice a week.
For them other 11 weeks?
Yeah, to make sure that, well, up until 37 weeks.
Oh.
As soon as I got to 37 weeks, they were inducing me because at that point, obviously, you're full term.
Yeah.
Baby's sort of meant to be sort of healthy enough by that stage to be delivered. So we got to 37 weeks, luckily. Was induced. Didn't work as great as my daughter, but still not a horror story. It just took longer.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like the mental side of it because you're in a ward with 3 other women.
Yeah.
And women were coming in, going into labour, going over to delivery. I'm being told we need to wait. There's no beds on delivery. And it's just, I was in there for like 3 days I was in there. No, sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days I was in there. Like being induced, and I'm like, just let me go over. Yeah. Like that's an absolute like showing resilience in that respect. Like you have to, at the same time, you've got no choice. You just have to keep going with it. And I kept having to try and advocate for myself, asking for a sweep, asking for everything that I could possibly be given, going on walks, walking up and down steps. Eventually got over to delivery, and I had to start on the drip because I wasn't dilated enough to have my waters broken. And then I was on that for 6 hours, wasn't really getting many contractions. Was just having a bit of a laugh in sort of labour, really. I was thinking, is this it? Like, this is easy.
Yeah,
wow, was I wrong?
Yeah.
Soon got to the 6 hours had come up, they checked me again. They could popped my waters, the rest of my waters. And yeah, between the minute that they popped my waters until he was born, it was 6 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
So that up until the 6 minutes, it was easy.
Yeah.
And then
then the 6 minutes was
the worst
horrendous.
6 minutes of your life.
Yeah. But at the same time, like the signs that I was seeing on the wall, the affirmations that I was seeing on the wall, I couldn't do anything for, 90 seconds, I think it said. And it's right, you can do whatever you put your mind to, you can do. You might get setbacks, but if you want to do it, you'll make it work regardless. And that's something that...
If it's physically possible.
Yeah, if it's physically possible, obviously. That's something that I sort of, as soon as I've always kind of been that way and always been in that headspace where if I've got something in my brain that I want to do, then if I put my mind to it, then I'll do it.
So you can use your stubbornness for a positive reason.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So that leads you up until now, and I can vouch for what you're saying because you speak of a healthy baby. He's a right little chunk.
He's a chunk, bless him.
Yeah.
He was only £7.3 born.
Yeah.
£7.12 he was born.
And now that's just one of his legs.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Is it good? Yeah, no bother though, is he?
No, he's so chill, bless him. At the start it was difficult, but I think obviously everyone goes through those newborn trenches. You forget how tired you get during the wake ups in the night, and
because that's got to come with its level of depression and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And I think with my daughter, looking back, I did suffer with postnatal depression back then.
Oh wow.
Which is something we haven't touched upon, but I'm happy to speak about it in the future if need be.
Yeah.
But it's only recently that I've kind of come to that conclusion because my experience now on maternity leave is completely different to her. So it's only now that I've gone through it again that I recognise actually it wasn't okay. And that's something that needs to be spoken about more because I think so many women go through postnatal depression, sometimes not recognising that it's postnatal depression, struggling, and then thinking like, what's wrong with me? Like people were saying to me, like on my first maternity leave, how much they were enjoying maternity leave, and I'm thinking, I'm not enjoying maternity leave.
Yeah.
Like what's wrong with me? Like I'm not enjoying this. I'm enjoying being with my baby, yes, but I'm not enjoying maternity leave. It's really difficult to explain.
You felt like you should have been at work.
Yeah. So when I did go back to work, I went back when she was 6 months old, and it felt better. I felt better going back to work because I felt like being a first time mum and then going through postnatal depression as well. You completely going through it, being a first-time mum anyway, you lose your identity completely. You go from being sort of independent to having this little life to have to look after, and it completely changes you. And I got really anxious about like whether she was okay and feeding enough, and I wouldn't let anybody feed her. I had to do everything myself. I won't ask. I'm still like it now. I don't ask for help from anybody. I have to do everything myself, which probably is my stubbornness. But
you say that you've reached out and asked for help to do with your mental health.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So in some ways, I think when you
know when to ask, really.
Yeah. In terms of like the day-to-day stuff, I don't ask my husband to help. I'm so bad with it. Yeah. But then I expect him to help. It's okay.
Yeah. Share it to Liam, man. He's a good guy.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Bless him. Yeah, it's only like I say, now that I'm on my next maternity leave that I've realised that the first time was such a struggle. Yeah. Which is obviously going through, like I say, I'm going through CBT at the moment. It's something that we're talking about at the minute, is that and sort of how past experiences are now affecting sort of day-to-day life, and how those thoughts and feelings are there and what comes up and all of this. So if anyone is thinking about CBT or talking therapy, as strange as it might be talking to a stranger, sometimes it is nice and it is refreshing, because obviously they're not judgmental in the slightest. No. Obviously that's their job, so they're not going to be judgmental, and that's what the services are there for.
There's a really good book I like to shout out called, there's two. One's called F Anxiety, the actual word, and the other one is F Depression. Really good books, just like CBT. It's not like a counselling type of thing. It helps you create a toolkit. Like, I prefer the idea of someone telling me how to help me, even though I know, but sometimes we need an adult.
Yeah. That's right.
I need someone to tell me how to help me. I didn't find counselling helpful, but I'm not saying it's not helpful for people, because it is cathartic to share your story and just to talk. So both of them are really good, but check them books out. Change your life.
Yeah, talking therapy for me wasn't like just talking at somebody. Didn't really help me. I've been through that as well.
Yeah.
But CBT, obviously, it teaches you the way.
Yeah.
And gives you strategies to change the way you think about certain things.
Yeah.
I've had it twice. This is my second round through. Mm-hmm. Obviously, having different anxieties at the first time, but those anxieties that I had the first time, that they're not so present anymore. So obviously, it does help. It doesn't help for everyone, obviously. Everyone's different, but it is useful.
Speaking about everything we spoke about then, Kelly, if we bring it all to a close now, if you've got like one quote that you live by, or if there's something that you'd like to share or say to everyone else, what would be your thing?
Everything happens for a reason is my quote, and as cheesy as that might be, I genuinely do think everything happens for a reason. If it's not right, it's not right, and there'll be a good reason for that, because something better's waiting for you. In terms of resilience, like I said earlier on, you've just got to keep going. And I know it's easier said than done. Look for the people, look for the support around you, people around you. There'll be friends out there that will want to help. There'll be family out there that will want to help. If you think to yourself the worst situation that you could come across in terms of who would be there at your funeral, you know what I mean? Those are the people that will be there now. And I know it might not seem like that at the time, but it's better to live than not to, because life has got so much to give.
Thank you, Kelly. So there you have it. The words of not just a teacher, not just a mother, and not just a woman, a really strong person who I've come to know over the past 2 years, who's ended up being a really good friend of mine. So if you've had experiences like Kelly, please reach out to local support, talking therapies, Samaritans, other local networks for mental health, postnatal depression, wherever you can reach out to. Please just talk. And if you know anyone who you think would be a good fit for them to share their story, or if you have a story to share, please email bbpodcast@beyondbarrierstraining.com. That's bbpodcast@beyondbarrierstraining.com. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode when we go beyond barriers again.